Okay, now this mouse is backwards. Why is that?
Got it upside down.
Whee! That would be why.
We're back, brother, and once again brought to you by PaintballToTheEnd.com.
Welcome to 10 Minute Mark Squad, episode 33. Once again, I'm Paul.
I am Jeff, and today is a very special episode. We are going to cover a couple things regarding Vince Russo and his new book, How WCW Killed Vince Russo, and some comments made by Brian Alvarez regarding Vince Russo, and also some comments on a recent YouTube video with the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Matt and Jeff Hardy proving that they are bigger jerks than Marty Jannetty and James Ellsworth. Yay!
Yeah.
Look for that in your Slammy Awards this year.
Exactly.
We're going to have some candid comments about their video regarding CM Punk and so on and so forth. So we will start with Paul letting us get things started.
We're going to go back to January. Everyone, all true wrestling fans know that James E. Cornette, Jim Cornette,
right,
he has a lot of volatile things to say. He's very outspoken, and he hates Vince Russo. Now, apparently, back around the middle of January, he said some things. He wrote an email to Terry Taylor, and basically outlining why he criticizes TNA so much. And of course, he and Terry were friends at the time. And in it, he says, "I hope Vince Russo dies." He is his number one most hated guy. And of course, Terry Taylor forwards this email pure as gold.
So we're not going to see any Christmas cards exchanged between Cornette.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Just get that straight.
Yeah, and Vince Russo sees this email. He freaks out and says, "Oh, James Cornette, he threatened me, and he threatened my family," which he didn't threaten his family. But, so he complains to Dixie, and they send him a lawsuit.
I wonder if I can try this family.
I wonder. I don't know.
I think your dog should die.
Yeah. So
Sue me.
I wanted to talk about that for a long time, but I've got a few other things about Vince Russo. Of course, with the recent Martha Hart lawsuit, people are kind of on what side of the fence. Should Owen be shown on DVDs? Should he not? And
by the way, leave comments on that below here.
yeah.
We want to know what you guys think. Should WWE, because this is a hot topic in wrestling apparently right now, between Martha Hart, between other parties involved, should Owen Hart just be erased, much like Chris Benoit has been, and so on and so forth, from the WWE library?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, anyway, so I went online and I was looking up people's comments on Russo, and of course there's a lot of haterade towards Vince Russo. Lance Storm is one guy, Roddy Piper is another, where they hate the fact that he promotes entertainment over the wrestling aspect. But the things that really bugged me, besides the Jim Cornette thing, when he talked, as far as I know, he's never apologized about the Owen Hart thing. And the reason being is he was the one that came up with the whole blue blazer coming down out of the ceiling thing. Right. And I'm not saying he deserves all of the fault, but he was in charge, and they interviewed 10 stunt coordinators, he said in this interview, and only one of them said, "Oh, it can be done." And he goes, "Well, this one guy says we can do it." And I'm thinking, you got 9 other coordinators going, "Don't do this, this is dangerous, he could die." Okay, Vince, and you still go through it. And then he was like, "Oh, it's Owen's fault, he probably jiggled the thing." Well, yeah, he may have, but he shouldn't have been up there in the first place. And I could see why a lot of wrestlers would hate him for that. It's like, well, Owen could be alive today. So,
but if I could interject real quick, just to be fair to Vince Russo, though, we must always remember that Sting was doing this before Owen did. So I just need to interject that fairness on Vince's part, although he does need to own up to his part of that accident.
Right. So anyway, also he comes out with this book, Why WCW Killed Vince Russo, and I've seen people on YouTube comment about it. And it really rubbed me the wrong way, the excerpts that were read. One, it's called Why WCW Killed Vince Russo, as if he's some sort of innocent bystander.
Right.
When, really, but he's a part of the demise. I wouldn't lay it all on him, but he was part of it.
Right.
Secondly, he at the end of the book, one, he talked about how he tried, for the record, I tried to get Paul Heyman to TNA. It's like, well, okay. I'm not going to diss him for that, but it's like, why did he throw that in there? But the second part was he was complaining about how people take cheap shots against him and his family, again the family, right. And also about how most of the wrestlers in WCW were ungrateful and they didn't follow my instructions and they didn't like my ideas and basically overreacting. And if I were a wrestler in TNA, I would feel pretty offended by that because I'd be thinking, man, what does he think about me? And then he's talking about how wrestling ruined his family and it's this business that eats people up, basically. I didn't like that because he's taking shots at wrestling. And yes, wrestling has its bad points. But he's taking these shots, when he's complaining about shots taken against him, which I've never heard anyone threaten his family. You know, and I've never heard Dave Meltzer do it. I've never heard Jim Cornette do it. I've never heard Roddy Piper, never Lance Storm.
Mark Madden.
Or Mark Madden. Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
I don't understand. And, you know, and he's acting like, you know, his ideas are gold. Oh, yeah, and he said the fans that voted for him or that liked him, that he thanked, were the ones that got it. And, you know, and I don't want to go into this huge Vince Russo haterade session because I know a lot of people do. But, you know, here he is whining in his book about wrestlers and how he doesn't get respect and how people are after his family and all this other stuff. And I'm like, you know, why do you have to do that? Why couldn't you just say, you know what? There were a lot of people involved with the Owen Hart thing, but you know what? I really wish I didn't do that. I really wish we could have changed that. You know, or you could have gone to Brett and said, dude, I know you hate me, but I'm sincerely sorry. And I know you may never speak to me again. I want to say I'm sorry, and I should never have come up with that idea. Or I should have perfected the idea and made sure he had more safety restraints.
Right.
He doesn't have any empathy for the other wrestlers, saying, you know what, some of my ideas were bad. David Arquette.
Right.
You know, I kind of ruined some people. I didn't, maybe not ruin their lives, but, you know, I kind of stopped some careers maybe, and I really shouldn't have done that, and I'm going to learn from these mistakes in TNA and not do it. And it just would make me feel better. Not that he needs my approval.
Right.
You know, or
right.
What's the word I'm looking for, but, you know, it would have helped Russo, really, if you showed a little compassion towards the other wrestlers who were mad at you over the Owen thing or over the, you know, or making statements like, oh yeah, I told Vince he should do the Montreal Screw. No, you never did that. Anyway, separate subject. But I'm just saying, you shouldn't overreact. You shouldn't. Jim Cornette has freedom of speech. He didn't threaten you. He just talks the way he does. And everyone knows that. And you know, I think people wouldn't trash you so much if you really just kind of owned up to some of your mistakes and learn from them and just say, hey, in TNA, I'm going to do something different. And that's my main part of the rant. And I hope he succeeds. I'm not like, I've said things like get rid of Vince Russo. Yeah, but if he succeeds, if he comes up and he's had great ideas like putting the belt on Kurt Angle, you know, if the company succeeds and he's there, have at it, Haas. Great.
Yeah. Now, I don't have much to say about that because I didn't catch the whole Brian Alvarez rant on it. So I'm going to go on to the Jeff Hardy video. Right. Jeff and Matt Hardy video. I can't leave Matt out.
No.
There's a YouTube video, and if you haven't seen it yet, just look up YouTube. Go to YouTube and look up Hardy and CM Punk. It's about a minute long, 2 minutes long. Goes off. Jeff Hardy talks about how he made CM Punk a superstar. Mm-hmm. Yada yada yada. And how he may not be straight edge because he takes prescriptions to go to sleep. Whatever. I'm straight edge, bitch.
Exactly.
Only thing I take to go to sleep is melatonin and shut up. And I don't know. It just... And then Matt Hardy comes on and says, apparently CM Punk is dating Lita.
Never knew that.
I didn't know that. And P.S. I don't really care. And P.S.S. You shouldn't either. That's old. It's done. It's been 5 years at least. You know, Matt, get over it. Jeff, get over it. You caused your own damn problems, not anybody else. I'm sick as crap going along with kind of what he says, to people not owning up to their crap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jeff Hardy, you are the reason you're not in WWE anymore. You are it. Nobody else. Matt Hardy, you're the reason you're not in WWE anymore. Not anybody else. Okay, I'm tired of it. Everybody else is tired of it. Quit your goddamn whining. Own up to what you did.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, to his credit, up till now, in this video, has moved on to TNA, had a stellar run there, hasn't gotten any trouble legal-wise so far,
Yeah.
and that's fine. But don't go on YouTube looking all high and drunk and crap and make this stupid video about CM Punk. You know?
Yeah.
You didn't do this with Edge. You know?
And Ed, there was
Ed
a lot of
deserved
heat
it
there.
more.
Yeah, he did.
Ed deserved it more. Don't go off on CM Punk. Come on.
Yeah.
Be more, wake up and be more adult. Act your age.
The thing that really bugs me too is and I don't know what the heat is between, he rambled on because he said he was kind of high. He looked that way. He was rambling on about something to do with CM Punk not shaking his hand. Like Undertaker was saying, hey, how you doing? But Punk just totally ignored him. And how also, hey, you know, everyone's different. If the whole world was straight edge like CM Punk, the world would suck.
Okay, whatever.
What, you know, I understand. I agree with you that we all need to be different. But at the same time, if the whole world was like Jeff Hardy,
yeah, we'd be screwed.
We'd be so screwed.
Jails would be full.
Yeah. We'd have to crank up the death penalty.
But that's our take on that. Seriously, cut with the videos. Somebody take that video camera away from that. I am going to do a last minute rant, kind of related to these two topics. Earlier today, me and Paul were discussing a situation regarding James Cornette, big surprise, and Mark Madden, and their actions at a Brian Hildebrandt memorial show for cancer research, a benefit show, and how Mark Madden and them two don't get along. Another thing I'm really tired of as a fan is two guys who had beefs 15 years ago in a sinking company that can't get over their crap. Get over it. Okay? Professional wrestling is a business fueled by ego and by money. If you can't handle that, get the F out. Don't even go into it. Okay? I am sick and tired of hearing about all these guys, especially guys in creative or managers or guys that aren't even athletes in the ring, getting mad at each other and carrying this grudge for 15 years. Why? What the hell is the point? Chances are you're going to have to work together again someday. Even if it is at a small benefit show for a guy. Just get over it and shut up. Nobody wants to hear about it anymore. It was 15 years ago. Why are you holding on to it still? And that's in regards to Paul Heyman and Jim Cornette as well. You put Paul Heyman and Jim Cornette in TNA, oh my God, that place thrives. But it can't thrive because two egos who have grudges from 15 years ago can't get along. Are you kidding me? You're both older than 4 years old. Get over it.
That's it for this edition of 10-Minute Marks. We don't know what our next episode is going to be, but we're open to ideas. We may come up with some on our own, of course. But until then, email us at 10minutemarks@yahoo.com. We are also on Twitter, twitter.com/10minutemarks. Also, check out more videos over there. Leave comments, suggestions, even opinions.
Look us up and hit us up as a subscriber and as a friend and send us ideas that way.
Absolutely, especially if you have your own wrestling shows, you want to share opinions, cross-promote stuff. Exactly. Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
But until then, I do believe that we are done!
But for now, I think we are
done!
God, that outro sucks.
And that's it for these.
Give you the job, you fuck it up!